happy with what we did today. I thought really all three phases did some good things. All three phases did some stuff we got to clean up. Opening day issues, whether it be a muff punt by Canante trying to make a play, just some stuff like that that's got to get cleaned up. Jumping over punch shield, which we can't do, which we coach every single day. But guys trying to be aggressive. Too many penalties early in the game, all on us. But overall, game one, there'll be a lot to teach from the video, and I'm happy with where we are at this point.
How did you evaluate Eli's performance today?
I'll let you guys. It won't matter what I say. I'm going to go back and watch the videotape. But I thought early, I think his first series, there wasn't an incomplete pass. Jerry, sorry you can't see me here, Jerry. You got the chairs all pulled up really close. Eli played really good, I think. I was really happy with where he was. He had the one interception, kind of threw it off his heels, I think. We'll go back and look and see what he did there. But, overall, he got the ball out of his hand when he needed to. I think one series we gave up 2 sacks in a row, which, is disappointing. We'll see if he needed to get rid of it or we had a protection problem. I think the corner came one time. But, overall, 30 or 40 for 300-plus yards. I would say he looked pretty darn good.
It looked like Eli, I think he completed 4 different receivers, 2 tight ends, and 2 running backs, and from both sidelines, deep, intermediate. What can you say about his grasp of this playbook for being a redshirt freshman that transferred to you guys in the last year?
I mean, he's a good football player. I told you, and so is Nate. But I think schematically, I think Coach Bell and the offense staff does a great job at scheming you up and putting our kids in position to make those plays. The ball's getting spread out. I don't know how many different receivers caught balls here today, but when you look at the targets and Kenny, I mean, it was just some good stuff. The ball spread out. You can't just focus on that guy over there. We got different ways of getting guys balls, and we got to try to get everybody involved.
And you had said that you had hoped that after the first game, it was pretty obvious who your starting quarterback would be. Do you go in next week, rest of the season, feeling pretty good that Eli's your starter?
Yeah, I mean, that's something we'll talk about that Monday. I'm going to sit down with the offense and sit down with Cade. But I think things look pretty good today. What we kind of thought coming out of camp, and Eli was sharp. If things didn't look sharp early, we probably pulled him earlier and just to see what Nate had. But so I told you earlier. I think I told you on Thursday, didn't have a plan for when and what to do, but the way he played with composure, obviously it's going to be we're going to see a little bit more next Saturday at 3:30, I think, at Cincinnati. So just getting locked into that one.
You called Desmond Reed explosive on Thursday. Is that kind of what you were talking about, his performance today?
That's what I was talking about. I mean, the kid's been like that, and he's tough. He gets a little calf down there, and he comes right back. He doesn't say boo. He just keeps going. He's like a ever ready battery. I mean, he just goes. The punt return. I mean, even the punt return. We had our base defense on the field. That was just we were in punt safe. We were keeping our base defense on the field. They made some blocks, and he made some plays. And he can pop through. I told you he could break one. It happened to be Izzy was here today. Bandicana was here, and he's that kind of back that can go break one. And I thought Derek Davis did some good things, and Daniel Carter did some nice things as well. So we got a lot of people involved. We got a lot of guys playing football today. We got our second offensive line in there. We got I think we got our thirds. D line. Jashir. Got in there. Whittington. Got in and got some good things in. I think the last 3 plays defensively were TFLs. I did not like the way our defense came out in the third quarter. We'll address that. I didn't like that at all. I don't know what they were doing, what they were thinking. I can't wait to watch the videotape, but that was not how I wanted to come out in that third quarter.
You mentioned that you guys gave a few big plays, especially in that third quarter. Did you notice anything common, anything that you guys were?
No, I mean, just, execution and details. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they felt like, I don't know what they came out in the second half as, but, I'll get on the defensive coaches. It starts with us as coaches, make sure their minds are right and they don't think this game is easy and it's in the bag.
You guys got a lot out of Kenny Johnson as a sophomore, whether it was red zone, deep ball, over the middle, catching it off the ground. What have you seen that's allowed him to make the kind of improvements he's had?
He didn't practice a lot this fall, so I mean, I can't tell you it was because practice makes perfect. I mean, he was banged up a lot, and we were able to get him and C.J. Lee back on game day, which is good. C.J. was banged up more than he was, and I think he had a few catches today as well. But we'll continue to get better there.
Are the penalties one thing you're most concerned about today?
I am, but we talk about 8 things critical to winning, and penalties isn't one of them. Penalties doesn't lose games. The one thing I did, how many, illegal procedures do we have? 0 unforced. There's going to be some aggressive penalties that we had, but there were some ones early, and I don't have my book on me here, but there were some early that just shouldn't happen, and but they were aggressive ones, and I don't anticipate those. I think the first one was a block in the back or a holding on punt return. Just shouldn't happen, and we'll get that cleaned up, I think, for sure.
What is your biggest concern in going forward?
I have a million concerns, Jerry. We got a million concerns. My first concern is that next week EJ gets these seats backed up so I can really see your whole body and not just the top of your forehead. That's concern number one. But that concerns me that we got the seats moved up closer than they've ever been in 10 years. But I'm going to pick and pick and pick. There's all kinds of stuff that we can clean up. But I'm not going to sit here and say I'm worried about penalties because that's not critical to winning. But it can cost you a game. We just got to clean that up. It's just bad ball.
One of the concerns, pass protection, 4 sacks allowed, and a couple of those, I think, coming kind of early with pressure.
Yeah, we'll look at that. And again, sometimes it's plays. The one thing I can tell you about our offense is we're going to get 5 receivers out. So, we like all the explosive plays and guys out of the backfield and getting it too. So the quarterback's got to get the ball out. At times, if we're putting 5, as you guys watch, if you're putting 5 out in the route, then the quarterback is hot off of somebody. And we got to do a good job of picking up corners and knowing they're coming. Those ones that you can't see that we got to do a better job at, and that sometimes goes with fast tempo as well. When you're fast tempo, sometimes you can't see it coming. If we're, we just got to do a better job of that. And that comes with experience, I think, at the quarterback position and Coach Bell knowing what he's got there too.
What do you think about how the linebackers played today, especially Kyle Lewis?
You know what? Again, I'll refer to the videotape of Kyle Lewis. At one time, he came through there and smacked that guy. The quarterback got beat up today. I hope he's healthy, but he took a beating today by our guys. We might not have got what we get 5 sacks, but it was like 5 sacks and another 10 hits after that. So it's 15 hits on the quarterback. He took some licks, and he's a tough kid from Camden, New Jersey. So I'll give him a lot of credit. But Kyle Lewis and I think Rasheem Biles had the first sack of the year. We'll just continue to get better. Our guys, we got a young front. We talked about it, but I think you probably saw a lot of penetration, even all the way down to the 3s at the end there. But I thought the linebackers did a nice job. We'll evaluate it as we go.
Drew was a guy you talked about a lot throughout the fall. Is there any reason you didn't play today?
Yeah, Jerry, tell him.
I understand.
Sorry, Pat. I can't help these guys.
Can't help them. Yeah, we hope we get them back. But again, that's why I sit here and I can get to put all those oars on there. And if something happens during the week, you don't anticipate. But he's been healthy all summer camp. It was unfortunate that he wasn't ready to go today. But hope to have him back next week.
There was a 3rd and long that you guys converted off a draw, spread out the defense really wide with your wideouts, and then Desmond Reed just gets it and he goes 28 yards. Is that something that you guys uniquely design up for him because of his ability, or is that just a normal play call in the playbook?
It's draw on 3rd and long. It's draw on 3rd and long when you're throwing it a lot, and all of a sudden you catch him by surprise. They had a 4-man twist on, and the offensive line did a great job. Sometimes the twists are will negate the draw sometimes, but again, it's a great job by Jeremy Darveau, our offensive line coach, of getting it picked up and coaching it and knowing what to expect. But it comes down to coaching and players making plays. It's a little bit of both. So it's great play call by Coach Bell.
How about a couple more before we wrap it up? Anyone else?
Can you offer any clarity on Rodney's situation?
We made an announcement about that already, and got nothing further to talk about.
One final.
Coach, how important was it for you to have such an offensive explosion into the Bell in the first game?
Really important. I think our kids. There's a different bounce. There's a different bounce about our kids. I watched them last night coming out of offensive meetings last night at 8:30 p.m. and it's just like the smiles on their faces. They're excited. They had a lot of confidence going in. Again, it's a tribute to our offensive staff and Coach Bell and what he's brought to the offense. There's a lot of confidence about what they're doing, how they're doing it. And it was important to come out there and put some points up like they did, and the great thing about him is he's in the locker room all mad because he feels like he left 3 touchdowns out there. Okay, so that's what I like about that.